What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So the DLC for the Marvel's Avengers is finally here for the Black Panther update. Yes, they've finally added a hero that people are actually excited for. If you guys have been following Marvel's Avengers at all over the past year, it has been a pretty rough ride. Financially, the game was a bit of a flop. It didn't make nearly as much money as they were hoping. I don't even think that they made a profit at all. I think they're still in the negatives with this game. They still haven't even technically made back the money the game cost to make. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there was just, no late game. It got really repetitive, and they kept adding DLC heroes that people just weren't that interested in, like Kate Bishop. I mean, not too many people were excited for Kate Bishop, and even Hawkeye. Hawkeye's okay, but you're not going to have that many people excited over Hawkeye either. But at least with Black Panther, there's a lot of hype around Black Panther. He's a really popular hero. And, I figured after months and months of taking a break from this game, I figured I'd come back to it, see all the changes that they've made. And I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on everything, let you know if the game's worth checking out again after all this time, and just give you guys my thoughts on the DLC. So I've maybe played Marvel's Avengers once or twice in the past, 6 months, and I gotta say I haven't been very impressed. But when I played this most recent update with the Black Panther, I've noticed that there's a lot of quality of life changes. They've made a lot of changes for the good. I mean, it's easier to navigate some of the menus. They completely overhauled the menu for your characters, so now you can see your costumes and your skill tree and everything all in one spot. So they made that a little bit better. A lot of the bugs and glitches that I experienced 6 months ago, I've not been experiencing now, so they've obviously done a lot of bug fixes, and I can tell that this game's come a long way in terms of just general improvements. It runs a lot smoother. Now, I have been playing this game on the Xbox Series X now, since I did finally manage to get myself an Xbox Series X. And it runs pretty smooth. I experienced little to no frame rate loss. It feels smooth. It looks smooth. I don't know how it handles on the Xbox One and the PS4 on the old generation consoles. I would imagine it still probably struggles on the last gen consoles because, I mean, let's be real, all games kind of struggle on those old consoles. But overall, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this update. When it comes to Black Panther and the little mini DLC they added, I actually kind of enjoyed the storyline. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. I wouldn't recommend going out and buying the game just for this Black Panther DLC, but it was pretty fun. I was actually engaged in the story. I like some of the lore that they gave with Black Panther. I like Wakanda. I like the design and the look of everything. And I think they did a really good job. And the outfits for Black Panther are so freaking cool. I mean, Black Panther looks really badass. I think Black Panther has some of the best outfits out of everybody. Some of them look so unbelievably cool, which is both a good thing and a bad thing, which I'll get into later. But even just the plain default skin for Black Panther is just really, really cool. He looks awesome. I can't get over just how cool he looks. And just the overall design of Wakanda and the environments and everything, they made some good changes. I think they, really did a good job with this DLC. But when it comes to the combat and how Black Panther feels and stuff, I think, he's a really solid hero. I do like some of his powers. It does feel a little repetitive with him sometimes. I think that's more of a design flaw with the enemy types than it is Black Panther himself, because it can feel like you're just spamming the same stuff over and over and over, because some of these enemies just have so much health. It just feels like you're just button mashing sometimes, because he's got cool abilities. He's got a spear, which you can throw at people and pin them against the wall and stuff, kind of like Thor's hammer. Once they're pinned, you can just beat the crap out of them and they can't escape. So his spear's cool. He's got some beads that he throws, which is just an additional way of debuffing some of his opponents, and they do some damage. His ultimate just makes him more powerful, and it summons this spectral panther that comes out and fights for 2 or 3 seconds, then it disappears, which you can change. You can get different upgrades and stuff for it. But as for his abilities, I think they're all pretty fun and pretty unique, and they're pretty cool to use. And then for his intrinsic ability, it works the same way as what you'd see in the comics or in the in the movies, where he takes enough damage and then he can just disperse all that damage back out of his suit and damage enemies. That's pretty cool. But overall, I really enjoy Black Panther. He's designed pretty well. His voice actor does a good job, so he's got good voice acting. His abilities are cool. He looks really cool. overall, he gets my seal of approval. He's a good addition to the game. And then another thing that they did in this update is they actually added some new enemy types. Now, they are pretty much just more robots. That's one of the downsides to this game in general, is just that you're fighting a lot of robots and it can get repetitive. But at least they somewhat mix it up. Like, there's a lot of spider robots and different mechanics that they've added. There is one really annoying mechanic that I don't like, and I've seen a lot of people complaining about it in the comments on just Reddit and stuff. They added some sort of like weird new sound feature where like your screen will just go completely blurry and you have pretty much no idea what's going on. So they added some sort of enemy type that affects your sound, and it's just kind of annoying. But they did add some new enemies. It did mix things up a bit for me when I was playing. I wasn't facing the same 10 different aim robots a million times again, over and over and over. Now, when you do break away from the Black Panther storyline and you go into the just Avengers initiative, just, you know, the same old stuff over and over and over, and you take Black Panther into that and you're fighting the same aim enemies a million times over and over again, that's when it starts to get a little bit more repetitive. But you know, it is a good addition to see him added to the roster. It is pretty cool to just run around with him and, you know, Iron Man and Hulk and Thor and all the different combinations that you can do. Now, the downside of this update is that a lot of the problems that existed at this game's launch still kind of exist now, where there's sort of no in-game goal. Like, a lot of the gear and a lot of the loot feel pretty pointless. There's like no point to any of the loot. Even if you get the best loot, it just feels like you're grinding for no reason. When I was playing this game, it felt like the only thing worth grinding for was the different costumes. And then once you unlock the costumes, I mean, after that you feel kind of lost because you finally achieved the goal of getting the best costume, and then you're just, you know, still fighting the same stuff over and over and over. So the problem is that there's no end game, there's no really any end goal for this game. This is kind of the game that you just play when you're bored and you have nothing to do, but it just feels empty. It feels like you're just killing things just to kill things. I don't really know how to describe it. Like, let me compare it to Destiny. Destiny, there's like all these different exotic weapons. So like you can constantly upgrade your stuff, you can get the best gear, you can try to get the best exotic gear, you can try to have different builds. Everybody wants to get all the different exotic weapons so you can have the best possible loadout for every single situation, and it feels like there's something always worth grinding for in Destiny because, you know, with the constant updates in that game. And I mean, that's just a good example of a game that has a kind of a perfect amount of grind. But the point I'm trying to make here is that everything in Avengers just feels pointless. Like, the gear doesn't really matter that much, and it still has the same problem of fighting the same bosses over and over and over. Like, as I started up the game again, one of the daily missions was to go kill Taskmaster again. I have no desire to fight Abomination or Taskmaster ever again, ever, for any reason. All the bosses in this game just feel like bullet sponges. Even in the Black Panther DLC, like in the story mode, when I was facing some of the bosses, it just felt like it was going on too long because I was beating the crap out of them and they were just standing there taking it, and it just doesn't feel fun when you're beating the crap out of a boss and it's you and the Hulk and Thor and Iron Man and you're all beating up on the same person who's just standing still and they're not even phased. It just kind of takes you out of the immersion, and it's just, I don't know, some of the boss fights in this game just aren't very fun. And then the biggest gripe I have with this game is the microtransactions. I feel like the way that they're trying to make up the difference in money where they didn't sell enough copies, they're trying to microtransaction the hell out of the game and basically punish the people that are supporting the game, because there are a ton of additional cool skins since the game's launch. Like, they've added MCU skins, there's like 20 plus cool skins for like every single character now. There's legendary skins and rare skins and just tons and tons of skins that make you want to spend money on them. And they are all insanely overpriced. A lot of the legendary skins are like 14 real dollars a piece. Now, technically you can gain in-game currency if you grind through the like battle passes for all of the base game heroes. That will give you some in-game currency, but realistically you're only going to be able to afford like maybe 4 or 5 really cool skins with all the currency that you can earn in-game. It's basically designed to make you want to spend extra money. Like, if you guys check out the marketplace for more than 5 minutes, you're going to see how scummy it is. I'd say the only way that the skins are actually semi-worth the price is if you wait for a sale. Apparently, this game has tons of sales all the time in the marketplace. So if you happen to play the game, just wait for a sale, and maybe you can get some of the legendary skins for like 50% off. I mean, then I still think they're overpriced at $7 a piece compared to $14, but you know, at least it's not full price that you're paying. So it just feels really scummy. I don't know why people defend cosmetic microtransactions so much now in 2021. Like 10 years ago, DLC used to work completely differently, where you could spend $20 and you would get hours and hours of content, and that would include, you know, additional outfits and stuff. Well, in 2021, it's completely opposite. You get free DLC, which only lasts you a couple hours, but every single cosmetic is basically $20 a piece. And then you have people defending that, saying, oh, well, the DLC's free. Well, what good does it do you if the DLC is free, but all the cool stuff is locked behind $20 paywalls? I would much rather spend $20 one time to unlock the hero and get the campaign and all the skins included, compared to getting to play as the hero for free, but every single one of his cool skins are like $14 a pop. It's just the way that it's set up is so, you know, they hook you in with the free DLC, but they want you to spend that extra money. If you want to look cool, you gotta spend extra money. So to summarize the DLC, I think it's a good update. There's some good quality of life changes. Black Panther is really fun to use. He looks really badass. I would say the game is worth coming back to if you already own it. But if you don't already own the game, I would not spend like $60 on this. If you can find the game on sale for maybe $20 or less, then sure. With all the updates they've added, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and Black Panther, and then later this year, Spider-Man is finally going to come out for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, then yeah, $20 or less, I'd say the game's worth it. Anything more than $20, I personally wouldn't spend that on the game, especially with how many microtransactions are in this game. I wouldn't spend $60 on it, but that's just my take. Overall, the update was pretty good. I'd give it maybe like a 7 out of 10. It's just a shame that these updates take so long to come out for this game. If they would have pumped out a new hero like every other month or every 2 months, like what everybody thought was going to happen when the game initially released, I think this game would be in a lot better state and it would be a lot more popular. You know, with everything going on with them not making that much money and COVID and, you know, everything happened, they are releasing these heroes so slowly. I think the interest overall for this game has just gone down over time. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I'm interested to hear your guys' opinions on everything. If you guys want to see more of me, I'm going to start uploading more on my second channel, Swanee Rants. I uploaded a video the other day, so you can check that out. If you want to watch my live streams, I stream on Twitch now exclusively at SwanyPlaysGames Live. And that is going to do it for me, everyone, and I will talk to you all in the next video.